I'm glad at least Rob's listening to me. I'm just here to talk to Rob. That's it.
I think my goal right now is to make Rob mad at me too. Or just mad in general.
I think Rob's too chill for that, honestly.
I don't know you well enough to be mad at you.
I don't think he's gonna.
Not unless you start really insulting me. That's hard to do.
Well, no, it's not about attacking you, but it's generally finding topics to make you mad. Not even at me.
Like nitpicking you into oblivion, basically. Those minute details about your personality that you thought were endearing and loved by the people that love you. No, they're not. They're annoyances to one David cameo.
Yeah. You're ruining everything is the motto, basically.
Fine, I'll leave them. God.
Yes. Success. It worked. I could get Mother Teresa mad. For some reason. I don't know what it is. It's partially because I'm Jewish. I said partially. I didn't say completely.
Was she anti-Semitic?
It starts there and then it spreads. Like the wildfire virus.
We are Squawking Dead, a podcast polarizing programs beyond the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh.
Sometimes we trauma dump.
Yeah.
Most times we go deep. I'm your host, David Cameo, and I'm joined by
Cosmo Mom 09, me.
She waited for it.
I was waiting for the me. Bridget, you can find me at youtube.com/@punkybrewster. It's PUNKYBRUISETER.
And Rob Casey, you find me at Rob Stuffin' Things on TikTok and YouTube.
That's right, bitches.
That's we're swearing now.
I don't know. Dave just thinks he can do it every once in a while.
Dave will throw out a curse word, but if we throw it, he's like, oh, language, guys.
Everything but the SNF.
What?
No, I don't
say
any
the
anymore.
I get the F, but not the S.
The SNF.
The S is not. That's not even a swear word anymore.
The SNF. You know what I'm saying?
NG.
No good.
Oh. What?
Today, we're here to talk to you about The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon's 6th episode of its 3rd season titled Contrabando. We do have a little bit of housekeeping. We did a live stream of the highlights that we took from New York Comic Con 2025.
Wow.
We broke down the news elements that came out of the Walking Dead Daryl Dixon panel, the new Game of Thrones spinoff titled A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the Welcome to Derry series, the Invincible panel as well. That was a pretty rich panel. The new Running Man movie.
Oh, yeah. Glenn Powell. And Coleman Domingo.
And Josh Brolin.
I had never seen the original of that film, and so I knew nothing about it. That trailer made you want to see that movie.
You should watch it before you end up maybe watching this new one.
Schwarzenegger, right?
No, I would recommend reading the book.
It's a quick read, too.
If I have time.
I like the Arnie movie, though.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's a Stephen King.
Under the Richard Bachman pseudonym. I don't know
if
it's
really
like that.
I don't.
She had to prove me wrong.
She's got to go get the book.
He printed a bunch of short stories under Richard Bachman, I'll say, because you'll criticize me.
It was written under Richard Bachman.
Yeah, but the first print was Richard Bachman.
I don't understand why.
There's a reason for it, because it's sort of departures from.
Well, okay, I have
style.
a theory. It's only.
It's short. It's like, what, 200 some odd pages?
400 pages.
Oh, is it 400 pages? I know, it felt short.
It's not that bad.
My theory is that he wrote a book under a different name to see if people would still like his writing.
The running theory.
If his name wasn't on it.
Yeah, there's like a different genre, too. It's the different style of his writing, too.
Oh, definitely.
It's notably
this is
different.
Not supernatural, not creepy, horror, nothing. It's definitely different, yeah.
He's not trying to build a world. He's just giving you just enough about the world to make you feel that it's an awful one.
Yeah. I mean, The Stand wasn't horror themed really either.
No, but he went, I remember he went into such detail over so many different things that led up to it, the reason why it still exists. Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, read the book.
Right. Oh, so and the last thing I think was the Daryl Star Trek Universe panel. And we went into the Mr. Ballin, not Mr. Ballin.
No, we didn't go into that at all.
Sort of a little bit, but we didn't have too much on it. He just wrote a book and stuff like that. Anyway, after we record this, I'm going to trim down that conversation. And hopefully by the time you see this, that episode will have already released. Currently, that live stream went on for 2 hours and 48 minutes by the numbers. We included a lot of text, clips, pictures that came out of the panels. It was a really entertaining and fun thing to record with all of you live last night. Today is Sunday, October 12th at 4:36 p.m. Just to give you context.
What is happening?
Just to give everybody context where we are in time. Because these episodes go out days later.
This is going to get cut anyway. So
no, not this.
Oh my gosh.
No, because he's talking.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
And last but not least, we do have merch in the merch store. I highly recommend you checking it out. It's squawkingdead.com. Hit the main menu and you can get to both our new designs via the new store on squawkingdead.com as well as the old designs via the same menu item. I highly recommend you checking out the new designs because they're super cool. The quality of the shirts and tumblers and mugs and all that is far superior. We've been working on it for a long time and the chickens are coming home to roost. Fair warning, if you do want any of the Walking Dead Daryl Dixon style merch, those will only be available until our next series discussion. When we start talking about the next series, whatever it is, we'll probably take it out of circulation so that you can't, and then we can throw up a bunch more designs of other things. But if you are interested in it, I would highly recommend you check it out and get it as soon as possible.
Yeah, in theaters only on November 14th.
November 14th or 7th, whichever one it is. The running
Either
man.
the 7th or the 14th.
Yeah. How does Contraband relate to what we saw of this episode?
Drugs.
Contraband.
Be specific.
Them trying to get the different drugs from Fede for Roberto.
Cha-ching.
Roberto was also contraband. Carol was smuggling him out of the city.
Cha-ching. Next one.
Next one.
Daryl tried to steal Luciana back, who is contraband.
Justina, you mean? But perfectly understandable.
Justina, yes.
Luciana.
Sorry, I get the names.
Luciana.
Wouldn't that be nice? How did she end up in Spain? Don't know, but they speak Spanish funny here. And the rest of the Ofrenda ladies, refugees or not. The lady that was with Justina, we don't know if that's Alba. Don't think it was though, right? Because we saw Alba.
No, I don't think it was
aftermath.
Alba. I assumed it was a lady from another city that they had stopped at.
Oh, yeah,
and
because they're
held
stopping
another.
along the way. That's cool.
That was my
so it's just like
assumption.
an ofrenda every 20 miles.
Through this, we got definitive proof that the Ofrenda is happening in many, many different cities. They're taking these ladies basically every year from each town and bringing them into Alcazar, which again means the palace, the royalty.
Laya made a comment about the girl playing the guitar,
Sandra, yep.
that she wasn't matched.
Right. That's another little tidbit.
Yeah, that was an interesting piece of information and a bit of an answer almost.
Well, I assumed it was like he holds court, basically, that you would get matched to someone within the court.
Alcazar.
Yeah. And then if you don't, then you're unmatched and you're treated like
Slavery.
a slave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was another big, huge thing, which I think was very helpful to hear, was that it was only supposed to occur once. As usual, when it comes to any thing of authority or anything system that you're going to try, is that once the door is open, well, okay, we did it once and the people let us do it once, right? They take their girls, they smuggled these girls as contraband. Well, let's do it some more. They're okay with it the first time. We'll give them some stuff just for the
They weren't
pleasure.
okay with it, but whatever they're using them for worked in their favor. So that's why they're going to continue doing it.
Well, and they created a system. It wasn't just a one-time thing. Now, what I loved the most was that, in a way, every little thing that we said across many different episodes ended up being correct. Even the thing about what Paz says, repopulation or some BS. But my original theory was, okay, they're trying to make it so that what limited people there are left in all these different little towns and whatnot scattered across Spain, well, they're not marrying their cousins and stuff like that and having babies. We're switching off people in different cities, or at least centralizing them so that we're not creating genetic abnormalities and stuff like that.
Well, we don't know yet that these women are being dropped off in these other towns.
No, not that, but at least they're somewhere else besides where they are now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I originally said. You're right. And no, definitely not that. It's the insidiousness of them not being matched. It's like they have so many of them that they're not forcing them to be matched with people that they don't want to be matched, these royalty or whatever people. We're assuming it's royalty.
I don't even know if I would say royalty, but I mean, obviously somebody that these politicians, I mean, that's what they, right?
Well, we don't even know that, right?
Matching them. Well, that's just the word that I'm going to use. We don't know, but hold on. My mouth is getting ahead of my thoughts. I know where I want to go, but I'm not.
Well, they're
saying
not
it
being
clearly.
matched with whatever the entity is. We'll say Al-Alcazar is like the institution.
Correct. So Guillermo's the one going around and gathering up these women, presenting them to these men, people who are helping him in some way.
Right,
They're
because he's the
providing
next
for
in
him
line,
in some
quote
way.
unquote.
And this is his way to give back to them or make them happy in some way, right?
Right, they're very happy to perpetuate this system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So to not be matched, I was under the impression these men are choosing these women. The women aren't choosing them. So to say they weren't matched is sickening. She should have said she wasn't chosen because she's not going to pick one of these. I can say ass.
It's like me
You
saying
said
bitch.
I could say A. You
like-
said I could say the A
It's
word.
like me saying bitch. It's like we have to ration these. But right, what choice does she have?
None. She
Right.
was
It's like
essentially
you could
kidnapped.
say she has a choice, but really
she
she
doesn't.
shouldn't
Yeah.
be picky. To be picky means you end
Right.
up being a slave.
Yeah, and I didn't get the impression that she had
coercion.
any say in it. So basically, she just wasn't chosen. And none of these men wanted her for whatever reason. So they turned her into a slave. And it was just horrible. Still want more information. And I hope we get it. Whatever the answer is going to be just awful. But I would like some clarification on what the heck is happening.
I think I got enough answers from this episode by way of the St. George slaying the dragon metaphor. Because the whole idea of that is they fed a system that made it so that they wouldn't be oppressed, let's say. So they kept feeding it. They kept feeding it girls, let's say. They
Yeah.
kept feeding it their pliability, the lack of resistance.
The animals.
Right. The animals,
Those
their
are
food,
the animals.
their
Once
sustenance.
they ran out of animals, they started giving women.
Themselves, right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was Elena, the princess.
The princess.
And who's St. George
So-
but Paz? I just love that analogy. It's great. With her little whip. It's so great.
So you think Paz is going to be the St. George, not Daryl?
I initially thought Daryl, right? But then it makes so much more sense that it's Path, and she is literally a princess in this story, not just a figurative one of the next in line. Until he is sworn as king, she is not a queen, that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cute. But then everything relates to that. What's happening in Solas de Mar, that situation. But even though it directly ties to what's happening, the drama that's happening in the Ciudad Vea, the old city, basically is what they're referring to. The stronghold of El Alcazar.
I really, really enjoyed this episode. I think I really liked everything from beginning to end, except for one thing. I want to get mad for just a minute, and then we can talk about all the other amazing things that outweighed this one thing that really irritated me.
You want to vent
the
so
point-
I can try to fix
Yes.
it, but I can't fix it.
Oh,
and
you're
then
not
we'll move
gonna.
on?
You're not gonna fix it. No, there's no fixing this. So, okay, calm down.
She's just mad. She's not mad at me.
I'm just mad. They set up this elaborate takedown, right? Stop them at the checkpoint, and it seems like it's going really well. I'm all excited. I'm like, yeah, they got the guys over there, and they're shooting out, and everything's going really well. And then ultimately, we know they don't get Justina, which. First of all, I'm like, wow. So this whole thing was for absolutely nothing. Guillermo's still alive. Justina's still trapped. But this story's got to go on. All right. Frustrating, but on purpose. Okay. The gate opens and they start driving through, right? The first car with Guillermo and Elena are in there. And then Paz is like, oh, no, they're driving away. We got to stop them. And then the truck with Justina in it starts driving away. Who's driving that truck? And why is Paz not shooting them?
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
actually.
Oh, well, because they messed up.
She was standing right
They
next
could
to
have
it,
easily
shooting everything
taken out the driver or
except
distracted
the
the driver.
of the truck.
Honestly, probably for the best, though, because of all the dead coming out. Probably would have been worse to be locked in that cage and then them not be able to get to it. I do see what you're saying, and it is frustrating.
Because if they shoot the
Yes.
driver, the truck stops, the dead approach the entrance, and even if you get the thing open, then they're
Well,
trapped.
and now Justina and her friend are trapped in this cage,
And not
obviously
Alba, is
not
what
being
we
able to
call
get,
her.
So probably,
get away.
I guess it had to go that way because otherwise they're trapped
Sure.
in the middle of a horde.
But in the moment,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
shoot the driver.
Right.
Yeah, no, I
I
get
get what you're
that.
saying.
Yeah.
Shoot the driver, jump in the cab, drive away.
And
Right.
that lock was so
Oh,
rusty. How could he not get it open?
But they messed up. Is the
With
thing.
a
So they made a wrong choice. They could have went for the driver, but instead they chose to, okay, if we can just get her out, then she'll be out,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
they'll move on, right? They'll just go away.
Yeah, because they need to save themselves.
It happened this way. And Rachel, you said this is to further the plot, but it's so
No.
that Elena becomes the target of rescue as well. Because otherwise they get Justina and then they're like, all right, let's go. And that's kind of the end of it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I don't know. I'm going to ask this. Maybe you feel the same way. Maybe you don't. I feel like Elena is not going to want to leave.
I thought the same thing.
Given the opportunity, it'll be like an Andrea and the governor moment. She'll have the opportunity to nix him and she won't do it because she reaps a lot of benefit from being with him. Whereas, yeah, it may not be ideal, but there is such a thing as Stockholm syndrome. And you've been with him for a long time.
It's less about benefit than it is sympathizing with your captor or something to that effect.
We don't know what kind of person she is either. All we know is this romanticized version of her that Paz is giving us.
That's a good point.
We don't actually know what kind of person she is. She could be a horrible person. We don't know.
That's a really good point.
Paz hasn't seen her
She's helping to talk people into being happy about giving their daughters away.
Yeah.
Granted, yes, she's in that situation. She has to.
Yeah, and in this kind of system, like who's to say that, well, we make up the rules, frontier justice. The second she steps out of line, well, I'll just get another one. I'm next in line. I can do whatever I want. The way Fed is acting in this episode, as long as he doesn't have something to hold over you, he can do whatever he wants. You leave town, you do this, you do, Antonio, shut up because I have something to hold over your head. Mom, shut up. I don't love anybody else but you. That sort of thing.
What a weird thing to say to your mom. And also your mom didn't like it.
No, that's a cultural thing. I understand
I know for
that.
a fact your mom didn't like that. Because in theory, you're like, oh, that's sweet. But it also means that you're going to be alone forever. And your mother doesn't want that. If your mother truly loves you and doesn't have some sort of weird attachment issue.
There's the irony, isn't it? Because
she's going to want you to be with somebody.
When you don't say that, your mom would want that. But when you do say that, your mom's like, okay, it's better
weird.
When I chase you, son.
It's gotten weird.
Then when you admit out loud that you don't need anybody else but me, okay, rejection.
You're the only one I need to love me. Whoa.
Well, and isn't that part
That's
of the
too
reason
much.
why she helps Carol too?
Ew.
On top of the fact that he made her attend to Gemma when she didn't need to. There was that extra bit of like, this is weird. A man should want to be with a woman, that sort of thing.
I think it has more to do with the fact that she knows that he has been lying
as well.
And she knows that he's poisoning Roberto. She is there to take care of people. And then also Justina was sent away on purpose by him. And she's finding all of this out at once. Like that would be enough for me to be like, dude, take all the medicine you need. Take everything. Because what is happening? My son is acting horrible.
But having that scene beforehand where he says, oh, I don't need anybody but you. But then all this other stuff. Basically, just everything lining up to where she would believe what Carol said because it's his mom. She has no reason to believe this random stranger. But all these little things like the compass necklace, oh, he had it with him before she left. That's all these little things that don't quite add up lead to her
she knows
accepting
that
it.
he's a liar. That's why she's so defensive and says he's not a liar. Yeah. He is, though.
I totally thought from the last episode when she brought him the necklace that she was well aware of what happened to Justina, the whole truth. And she was trying to protect him, be like, hey, they know. And so when she was confronting Carol, I thought she was totally just going to be like, yeah, I know, I don't care, keep the gun on her.
No, and I'm like that they didn't, that she didn't immediately believe her. I love that because then it's like, okay, I believed him when he told me, oh, he had it on her. Because why would he lie to me? He's my son.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. I love that there's that little bit of, well, a little bit of doubt. Who's this random B? See, I said B. See, sparingly. Got to use sparingly. There's a lot of references to water in this episode, too. Laughter is described as the literal versus the metaphorical. Literally the fall, they call it Kaida. But they call the river of the dead that surrounds Huitad. How do you say that again?
I don't know, because city is ciudad. It must be different in Spanish.
That word is Catalan, the Basque language.
Okay.
Ciudad Vella. That's what it is. So the river of the dead that's surrounding the town.
So they pronounce the CU as Q instead of, it would be ciudad in Spanish. Right. So the CU is a Q. Ciudad.
La Riada means the flood. Again, a lot of water references in this episode too. So there's like the flood of the dead or black water as well. Black water meaning so deep it's dark. And then the red lights and everything like that. It does look like a kind of a river that surrounds the town, a moat.
That was very cool imagery. They call them the insatiables.
Yeah, another word for
water
is puerca. No, los huecos.
It's huecos. Like, stop trying to make it sound like pig.
Because it reminded me of
La puerca.
Eggs.
I was like, that's not right.
Like huevos.
It's cerdo.
Huechos.
Los insaciables. I said it right? Yeah. We're just like, no, let's let it go. It's fine.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm tired of arguing about it. No, it was fine.
She's like, I'm not sure, actually.
No, it was fine. It was fine.
Talk about something fun. Like, okay, let's talk
like
about
Carol
the main thing.
kissing Antonio.
No, let's not go there
We're gonna
just
go
yet.
there?
Let's save that for last.
Oh, you want to start with the shower?
Hell yeah, I want to start with the shower scene.
It was funny. We needed some levity.
Oh my God, did we ever?
I loved it.
Because what is the first thing we see? Carol's doing her Carol thing of skulking around. Just let's see what's happening here. Oh.
What can I steal?
Exactly. Creep.
Stealing a peek is what you're doing.
Come on, man.
I love how he's like, "Oh, I'm still not used to people being around, dude. It's been a minute. They've been there. They've been there a
Also,
while."
you're showering in the middle of like a plaza. What do you mean?
Yeah.
To be fair, he has it all to himself, so he's used to being outside the main
But still.
town area.
Daryl and Carol have been there for a minute. That would have flown like the next day, but not this far into it.
Well, you're not showering every day too, so of course I could see him forgetting. Literally, you're
Yeah.
not showering every day in the apocalypse. He's like, that's a commodity.
Oh yeah,
Once a
no,
week.
you're not showering every day, but you're taking a horse bath in the bathroom. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Well, then maybe that once a day.
yeah,
Other than
that's
that,
what you're doing once a day. I mean, if you're capable of doing that once a day.
but then the scene progresses. I was looking for a screwdriver, quote unquote.
Mhm.
Oh no, she pauses. There's a clear pause. Just looking for a screwdriver.
It's like when you were trying to find the name of any other tool, but the one that's staying in your head is the one that you say that you knew you weren't supposed to say, but you end up saying. That's what she said.
It's like, don't say screwdriver. Don't say screwdriver.
Screwdriver. Ah,
Yeah.
damn it.
Damn it.
So many tools.
Mm-hmm.
Him offering her the shower.
When I'm done.
That was the best part. Yeah, it's still
wait.
warm if you want to shower. Also,
Maybe you want
I
to.
love that she
want to have a
she
shower.
made like such a face. She's like, walked
I
away.
mean,
It was
after I
great.
finish.
It was great.
Oh, so cringe. Love it. I should mention in the episode or insider, TM Bridget, on that specific thing, Norman says to open that up. Carol thinks it's nice here. Maybe she could settle here.
Mm.
Okay. And Melissa says that shower scene was cute. It was fun to shoot. And he's awfully brave because that water was very cold, not warm.
Oh,
And we did take after take after take.
Oh, poor guy.
Zabel said something very interesting about that scene that didn't occur to me. They basically wanted to have that scene not just because of the levity factor, but also inverting the male-female roles. Normally be the man's creeping up on the woman sort of situation. The male,
Well, she
also
didn't
the
creep up on him. I mean,
she was a creep.
didn't.
Carol is a born creep.
what?
She should be
rude, and also no.
She should
You
be
are wrong.
on a sexual predator list somewhere.
Stop.
She was very shocked. That was not her creeping up on him.
One half dozen to the other, you know what I'm saying? End result. It's what happened. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so
But not on purpose.
No, of course not. I'm just, effing around with you. He said it's also like the male body being exposed, idolized over the female one. There's also the cultural difference between Americans and the Europeans. American modesty versus the cultural openness of nudity in European sensibilities. Little culture clash there. Creates some funness.
Also gives you a pretty detailed look of how bad his scarring is going down his body as well.
Yeah.
Good to know for later on too. Gives you context for when it actually happens. Oh boy. Great makeup work, by the way. Both that and what we end up seeing later.
Yes. Very cool stuff.
What did you think about the found footage, flashbacky, dream sequency stuff? I know some people don't like that.
Which part?
Well, there's so many.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Antonio's or are you talking about Daryl's?
Oh, I'm just talking about Antonio's. That's the only found footage.
Because you said
even when you get to see at the end what ends up happening, that's not part of any found footage.
Correct.
No.
Antonio's
That
past,
is a
basically.
flashback,
yeah.
Which is why I had to kind of phrase it like that.
It's okay because it was still the apocalypse. It was at the very beginning.
I knew
that's
you'd
how they
be the
got
first
away
one to
with
say
it.
that,
Yeah,
too.
that's how they got away with it.
All
Gimple
the
made
stuff.
sure because when it started and it went to him being like in it, I was like, oh, that's weird. We don't get flashbacks. This is a no flashback show.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, he's gonna think she's alive and she's not gonna be. And then it was exactly what happened, which is to have your like hope restored and then immediately yanked away is
which I'm
pretty
sure happened
devastating.
to a lot of people at the
Yeah.
beginning. I mean,
Yeah.
that's been explored before.
I didn't think we'd even get that scene. I had a sneaking suspicion that it might have been around that time, but When we actually saw the non-found footage version of it, I was like, oh,
that was when it was confirmed. Yeah. Because when I saw Roberto, I was like, oh, he's older than I thought he would be when his mom died. This must be the beginning.
The more I think about these episodes, I think about The Walking Dead Dead City. When we first started the season, the first few episodes, we saw Victor, the violin player. There's Mahina Napoleon, who plays Ginny. There's the girl from the scavenger people in Central Park, and how they were such and such age when the apocalypse happened and grew up in it, kind of like Carl. But I remember making that comparison. And then what is all this for if not for them, and yet they're dying left and right? Well, the same thing here. You have Justina and Roberto, and what is all this for? What is the future for if not for them? We have to leave something to a future generation to carry on this struggle, and yet we're using them. We're killing Roberto. We're poisoning Roberto. We're taking Justina away. We might do something terrible with her. We might do something terrible with Paz. Paz was left for dead. She's also a young person who grew up in this nonsense. As a high school student, maybe a little after. They found each other in high school, I think it was that she said.
Yeah,
or school.
She said high school.
It's been on my mind the last few episodes of this season of The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, how there is a bit of play between the two spinoffs, how the old people keep things going. Right, we even said this in the second episode, how Daryl and Carol were willing to kill these two kids or whatever, or Daryl at least, sorry, just to get the food so that they could get home, like just sacrificing the young to get to where they want to go. But then what is all this for? It's something to keep in mind as we reach the end of this season, I think. These themes are going to be coming up with every other spinoff that we see, I think, too, is how do we pass on the torch from the people we've seen and grown to love over time to a younger generation. Even if we don't see the younger generation again, we have this knowledge that they'll move on and go on and do good, cool things. Like they can't all die in the next episode, let's say. Like we can't keep introducing people that end up dying. And we didn't lose Falu, let's say, and that lady who we in our heads think, oh, they've grown old together and they're in love forever. Maybe. At
least one person died that we were just introduced to. So some of the formula has stayed.
Yeah.
Oh, Laya, right. Nerea is the girl that Paz
and Nerea went back into Barcelona to look for Elena after she was taken in the ofrenda.
Right. And then Nerea stayed with Khalid, right?
Khalid.
The central nerve of the Antonio found footage is the monologue he gives to his son, little Roberto, we call him. I love how it links to present day because they're in this area, which I'll get into later. And in present, the Ofrenda refugees are there too. He says to little Roberto, no dragons only exist outside of the city. Once upon a time, a fierce dragon terrorized the town. Transitions to present, Antonio speaking clear. It was so hungry that in order to keep him outside the walls, they decided to give him an animal to eat every day. And when they ran out of animals to give him, well, the town had no choice to send someone chosen by the draw, like the Ofrenda. And it turned out to be the princess. The dragon arrived breathing fire. The princess was sure her time had come until St. George arrived. Shows Daryl trying to get through the gate. So we're led to believe it's him visually.
At the same place, too.
Yeah, at the same place, exactly. And they also transition back to the flashback video again. With his sword, he killed the dragon, and of its blood, it's not a single rose, it's a rose bush, but he gives a single rose to the princess in the actual Catalan story, by the way. This is St. George's Day. It's the equivalent of Valentine's Day. St. Jordi is the patron saint of the Basque people.
Okay. One
gives on April 23rd a single rose, the Senyera, which is the Catalan flag, and an ear of wheat to the one they love on St. George's Day. And it celebrates the triumph of good over evil and life over destruction. Life springs from a place of death, let's say. Well, isn't that The Walking Dead? St. Jordi is the patron saint of Catalan since 1904. There's a lot of Catalan Basque influence throughout this episode.
Which makes sense because of the tie to the revolution.
Right. And the separatists and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Why I bring this up is because between the setting and the story, goodness or something springing up from death. Remember, The World Beyond was kind of like that too. Beauty in the darkness. I like that this theme is coming up again.
I was more paying attention to Fede's reaction to Antonio watching it. Yeah, the reaction he had when he came into the room. So we find out this episode, the thing that Fede's holding over Antonio is...
It's complicated.
How Maria died. Antonio feels responsible. I don't know that I would say it's his fault because I don't think he put the bomb in the car, but but he definitely feels responsible. And for some reason, Antonio didn't tell Roberto that his mom died in an explosion, question mark? or didn't tell him that he felt like it was his fault. So Fede's holding this information over his head. I'm going to tell Roberto that it was your fault. You got his mom killed, essentially.
Sure. I'm going to guess that he just said that she died because of the fall.
Because it was the same day, right?
Because it was the same day.
Happened,
so that she turned.
That.
So he could have said that she was bit or anything else. And
he could have, but I don't know. I mean, now that we know I can't put myself in Antonio's place, obviously, but I almost feel like the truth is better than the lie.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, she was there standing up for what they believed in. I mean, yes, she didn't want to be there at that particular moment, but it sounded like she still at least believed in what they were doing in general. She didn't want to be at that specific spot, but she died fighting for something she believed in. I don't see why that's such a terrible thing
she didn't
to let your son believe.
She had literally said she felt like it wasn't right to give voice to terrorists.
Also, that's not the only thing going on here. I mean, it's very obvious. I'm not saying anything that everybody doesn't already know, but clearly Fede was in love with Maria. That is
him caressing her
very much so, yes.
I was very uncomfortable watching him pet the picture.
I felt like Carol perving on the situation.
I don't know what the actual relationship was. It could have been him.
Right.
Unrequited. It could have been that they dated and they broke up and he never got over it. But I think from Fede's perspective, he now believes like, okay, well, Antonio, you were responsible for her death. And even though Antonio probably in the back of his mind is like, well, I didn't put the bomb there, he's going to blame himself because he was there and he pushed her into it. But then on top of that, now you've got this guy who's like, oh yeah, definitely you got her killed. Because in Fede's mind, if he was with Maria, he would have protected her. He would have made sure she didn't get hurt. And instead, she goes off with Antonio and she dies.
Or not even protected. She would never been in this to begin with because clearly he does things to keep people safe, makes trade-offs specifically for it too. Willing to be pliant to get the things that he wants to. It's revolutionary versus
It's weird because I'm still not ready to write off Fede 100% yet. They've written this character to be too compelling for me to be like, yeah, he's just the worst guy.
No, clearly he's not. He loves his mother.
He's the worst guy.
No,
I would say
not
he's
the worst
not
guy.
great 'cause he tried to kill Roberto in this episode.
Yeah.
But
Yes, exactly. And normally that would be enough for me to be like, I hate this guy and I don't like him and he should die. But instead, I'm kind of like, I don't know, maybe there's still more to this that I'm not seeing. So if he's going to do like 100% flip over to a heel at this point, I don't know that I'm going to be able to like go along with it.
See, I would though. Because even good people, and you see, and I wouldn't say good people, but I think it's normal for many of us to fall into darkness if you feel like you have to keep up a lie long enough that you're willing to go, okay, I'm going to go here, but I'm not going to go further than that. Or I'm going to go here, I'm not going to go further than that. And Fede...
Yeah, but you're extremely optimistic about people's character, and I am not.
It's nothing to do with about the reality of the situation. You don't instantly find yourself in evil territory all the time. People sometimes have to creep up to it. And then after 13 years, you creep up to it for so long.
You didn't even realize you're there.
Exactly. Yuri Bezmenov speaks about this a lot, how an opposition will try to get you to believe one thing and then you go, no, and then you fall back to an original line. Then they make you to believe one thing and they push you back and they push you back to an original line. But in the meanwhile, they've softened you up to move to a certain point that you didn't think you would end up being after a certain time, which is the whole entire goal of basically evil. You end up doing more and more things that you didn't think you would end up doing. And after such a long time, you end up here in this spot where you're willing to poison an innocent person who just wants his girl back, who's possibly your son. I'm kidding. We don't know yet.
Yeah, maybe.
To play devil's advocate, because I'm where Bridget's at right now.
Yeah.
Fede's not.
Well, I am too. That's what I'm saying.
Not a great guy, but I'm not sure he's the worst guy either. And I'm going to say this from his perspective. Him trying to kill Roberto could be him doing this for the rest of his people. This one sacrifice to save the many people that he has to look out for.
Okay, Negan.
Yeah.
For him, well, I'm just.
I know.
That's why I said
That's
from
it,
his
isn't it?
perspective.
Yeah.
I'm not justifying. I'm not saying it's
well, yeah,
right.
no, because I can see him. He's sacrificing his niece, thinking I'm helping to ensure the establishment of this agreement that we have.
Right, because if this lie gets out, everything falls apart. If I'm not saving everybody, this whole thing collapses. Everybody falls apart without me in charge.
He even says, I don't want this stranger opening up a can of worms around here that's going to cause everything to fall apart.
And see, both Antonio and Fede put it on themselves. They put all of that on themselves. They're a mirror of each other. They both love the same woman too, on top of everything else.
But now that Roberto knows the truth, there's nothing holding Antonio back.
Correct.
And you see it.
It's exactly why he confronted him. Yep.
Yeah.
Man, the visual storytelling in these episodes has been so spot on. As soon as he does the thing and he says, "You can go now, Carol," and Fed is like, "Yeah, you should go. You should go now, Carol. You're not involved. Get the hell out of here, B.
Stay out of this.
Major B." Bye. Then immediately after that, Carol does the she's going away. And then it shows Antonio's in the front, and then the three of them line up behind him. Gustavo, Sergio, and Fede, basically. But they line up there. They have their guns like out like this. Like Fede has his stick out like this, like as if they're about to strike Antonio, accentuating the sacrifice he's making for Carol and Roberto to get away. Perfect. It's so perfect. I'm going to include it in this. I don't care. It's so good. Sorry. Got ahead of myself.
No, that was good.
None
Just
of
like
us were going to
Antonio.
fight you on it. So the fact that you're like, I don't care. I
don't care.
I'm like, okay.
I don't care what
I'm
you
not
say.
mad.
I'm not in the editing booth.
Go right
I'm not
ahead.
mad.
As
You
if.
do whatever you want, dude.
No, guys, seriously, I have to include a shot of this.
Stop arguing with me.
Why won't
I'm
you let
including
me?
it.
Oh, yeah, I'm in charge. I'm Fede. That's why my subtitle is I'm El Alcazar. I am the kingdom. I am the palace.
I changed my mind. I hate Fede. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's show the Daryl flashback photos.
David wants to talk about about Daryl.
That'll tie into the dragon metaphor a little bit more in ways that I don't think maybe one of you at least might have thought, but
We're watching something. Oh,
yeah. I had to get a video. I couldn't do still images anymore.
No, there
This
were too
flashback
many.
was so much better. I'm going to be pausing here because it goes by pretty quickly. First of all, notice that the order is very wonky. Dreams are kind of like that, but still, I want to get your take on that in just a sec. But here we go. Okay, so Daryl's running in the woods. Young boy, it's Merle. Get out of here.
Yes, it is.
Daryl says, "You gotta come too."
Go!
So Merle's coming and running. There's little Daryl. I'm scared.
Daryl, haul ass.
I'm not familiar with the terminology.
I love that.
I love the haul ass.
It's like we're all in the dream.
Now, go. Don't look back. Don't you ever look back.
Doesn't the dad sound like Merle a little?
Dang it, I wanted you to go back and pause on that blue building. There was another flashback where it looked like it was closer to that trailer, but in this one, it looks like it's directly in front of Daryl, and then he turns to look back to the trailer.
Yeah,
right?
he did. In one of the still shots from the other flashbacks, he does. And he did.
But we saw another one where it was closer to the trailer, right?
No, it was about...
It was like an optical illusion.
It was a different perspective. Daryl was
'Cause
a
it
little
was-
further away.
Yeah, it was coming like this way. I don't know. I don't know how to describe this.
Don't you ever look back.
A little monkey.
Don't you worry about me. I can take it, all right? You gotta come through. I'll be okay. Now go on. Go!
Okay, that's it really. Daryl, come back here. Bridget, give me your impression of what happened here.
We speculated at the very beginning of the season as to when it was and who was who. And our first guess was that the older looking kid was Merle. But then we kind of went back on that a little bit back and forth. And it was like, was it Daryl? Was it Merle? There were a lot of conversations
only
about
you.
what time. No, I said
No,
it was Merle
we
from the
discussed it.
get.
No,
and
no.
you guys
Yeah.
were like, I think that's Daryl. You guys don't remember
I said
this?
it was Merle.
No,
I remember
definitely
that.
said it was Merle.
And I didn't change my position
Thank you,
on
Rob.
it at all.
We
Dave is a
kind of went back
liar.
on the
Who's
second
we?
episode
Who's
and
we?
then reversed on the third again.
David,
Thank
Usually
you.
back and forth.
David
Thank
was a
you.
little back and forth.
You
but
guys were just like
Thank
confusing
you.
me. I was like,
Dave
no, it's
was
just
back and
Merle all
forth.
the
Okay.
way, guys.
Anyway.
no.
Anyway,
Will not
the kid who
agree.
looks like Bud Cort, I had said was probably Merle. Then because there was the second guess, Dave, then we went back and forth on when this had occurred. Was this after Merle had left home? What's the disparity
Right.
between their ages? Merle and Daryl at the beginning of the show look like there's enough of an age gap there for Merle to be considerably older than Daryl.
Yeah, like 8 to 10 sort of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even
Yeah, I
including
would
these
say
flashbacks.
Daryl is now the age Merle was when he died in the current timeline, or at least close to it.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
over probably. Well,
but that would be like what? Then there's like a 15.
Years. I think he also confirmed
13.
in these episodes. The fall was 13 years ago.
Okay, so like 13 years. Like the disparity in this flashback doesn't look like 13 years to me personally, but that's okay. It's besides the point. It doesn't matter really. Anyway, so it's nice to have confirmation like fully. Obviously, we had in the last couple flashback scenes that this is still when Merle is at home. Now, their mother is passed at this point. We can make the assumption because dad is drunk and angry all of the time. And Merle is doing exactly what had been talked about in Walking Dead seasons about how like he protected Daryl until he didn't, until he left. So we're not quite at that point yet. So it's nice to see this brotherly love. And Daryl mentions in this episode a very specific, it's a retort to something Paz says. She is talking about losing people.
Directly afterwards, right?
Yeah. As they're having their little conversation by the fire. She's talking about losing people. And she didn't want to give up hope looking for Elena because if she did, that meant she had to accept it. Obviously, I think with the flashback and everything else, you could be like, oh, he's talking about Merle. He's not. He's talking about Rick. If he never gave up looking for Rick, because if he did, it meant he had to accept that Rick was dead.
Right. Exactly.
And since he never found a body, he was refusing to believe that, which is great because as we all know, Rick is not dead. So like, good for you not going for that because you don't need to. He's alive. You just don't know it yet.
Which it's like a double-edged sword because once they decide to go after Elena / Justina, there's an added little element of, well, this inspires Daryl to be like, I don't have to give up on Rick. I just don't have to look for him actively.
Yes.
Which is what Michonne came to before she ultimately found him, was about to leave with that same mindset. Like, I can hope that he's still out there, but I don't have to go look before him.
Yeah. Until she found the boots. And then she was like, wait a second. He is out there.
No, I'm talking about in the second episode of
The Ones Who Live.
Ones Who Live.
Yeah.
Maybe after everything she's been through with
Nat.
Nat.
I was
so
like,
close.
Nate doesn't feel right.
You're so close. For a year.
Remove a letter.
Yeah.
After the Whisperer War, basically.
Anyway, it's nice to give Daryl the reassurance that it was okay to continue to look for him because everyone kept saying, you should stop, you should come back. And even Carol, his best friend, kept saying, come back to us. And it's like, I get that, but he kind of needed to know that it was okay, that what he was doing was for his brother. And that was important because he's already lost a brother. And so I think that's why it ties together like this, is he needs to feel okay continuing to look for his brother because he already lost a brother who really did care about him. POS or not, Merle, because he does have a redemption arc.
Yes. Right. Literal brother translates to found brother, basically. That's what my thinking was.
He transfers all that love and respect that he had for Merle to Rick, which is weird.
Or vice versa, even. Because like the love you have with Rick could be like, oh, Merle wasn't such a bad guy after all, or whatever. You could look at it.
Daryl, like it doesn't matter.
He ever saw Merle as a bad guy.
He knew Merle wasn't perfect. He was his big brother, and he stood up for him.
Yeah.
So now the audience can finally see what it is that Daryl saw in Merle.
Right. And
this protective big brother who said, "I can take it. I'm strong. It's okay. You run. I'll protect you." This is what he saw in his brother. We all have people like this in our lives that maybe aren't perfect, but they're family for whatever reason. And we see something in them that other people just can't see.
Right. Oh, why do you hang out with this guy or friend even? He's an a-hole. Right.
And so now the audience finally gets a glimpse into what he saw this whole time. And I look back on Merle and remember him quite fondly by the end. Now, part of that is the fact that he's played by Michael Rooker, and Michael Rooker does a phenomenally charismatic job of playing just a really hateable character. so you want to like him because Michael Rooker's like just a nice guy, and you're like, oh, but he's so funny, and
he's like Negan. Nice. He's fun to watch, being a complete jerk, but not always.
Yeah,
because he has that light side.
And he came around in the end.
He did,
eventually.
Yeah, doesn't hurt.
But it's interesting that this is coming up in this show, which is a spinoff, so far gone from the main series, because it really is telling the story of season 1 Daryl, really.
Someone who didn't think he could be strong.
There is an aspect of this episode that tells the story of season 1 Carol.
That's what I want to get to as well.
Would like to get to it, but it has to do with her relationship with Antonio, so I'm waiting.
I want to add one extra little bit of spice to what you're saying too, because what happens to Path, but Nereya ends up leaving with Khalid, right? To be together with him, right? She moves on to go for Elena. Who is that? Carol and Ezekiel? While Daryl's in the woods looking for Rick, Rick's body, Carol and Ezekiel having their family.
Oh,
right?
okay. Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
Now,
So Paz
Ezekiel
is
was
looking for
supposed to
Elena.
die.
No, okay.
Carol was also
No,
supposed to
that's
die.
hard
Please don't do
pull.
that.
But they're trying to map these two characters, these badass characters, as similar beings too. So it's no wonder. I just like that. I love that. It's closer than we think. Their
I
stories.
particularly loved the line that Paz delivered after Daryl says, "Oh, I've lost a lot of people."
Oh,
and she
me
said,
too.
"Yeah, but they
Yeah,
don't
man.
all hurt the same."
Yep.
Ugh.
That's to the audience too, by the way.
That
Kicked
one
me
got me.
right in the gut.
That one got me. I haven't felt very emotional during this season.
Either.
There's been powerful themes, but nothing has been, oh man. Which when I watch regular Walking Dead, it's like I cry a lot.
Still.
This one, yeah, still. I've seen it so many times. I still cry.
Uh-huh.
This one hasn't really gotten me there. I don't know why. And that was a moment that I was like, oh,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
you are not kidding.
A flood of faces went through my mind. All the people that Daryl's lost, all the people that we've seen on this show, people in real life. They do hurt different.
Wait, people in Norman's real life? No, our lives. Oh, sorry.
Our lives.
I was so
You know,
focused.
losing people in our real lives.
Yeah, and some people hit harder, sure.
It's actually one of two lines in this episode that really got me. It was that one. Then it was the one about being far away. Khalid said, well, everything is far away now.
But it isn't though, is it?
Daryl says something to the effect.
Tell me about it or something.
Yeah. It's like, so it's very, but that to me is like, oh yeah. It's like, it is so far away right now from you. And not even physically, just like emotionally, you're so far away from that place right now.
That, and no matter where you're traveling to, is dangerous, which makes it farther because it's so much more dangerous to get any place.
It's like such a pregnant line too, because emotionally, if we don't let it go, it's closer than we think. If we don't allow ourselves to let it go, it
well, I
sticks
think of
to
it
you.
even in terms, though, Dave, of like, he can't ever go back to a point where Isabel is alive.
Well, and then the time where he left Merle, there's a lot of similitude there.
It's like there's all these points in his life that he can never travel back to. Like everything is far away now. There's just something about that that's really.
It's like you can never go back and right that
These
wrong.
were like two lines. These were two lines in this episode that I was like, I don't like this. Don't make me feel things. I don't want
How dare you?
I don't want to.
How dare you? I will say, and maybe this is a good springboard to get here, but the thing that made me cry, not the first time I saw this, I was hooting and hollering. It's like, yes, get it. The second time I was like, oh, this is getting me really hard. I can't believe this is happening. Oh, look at their eyes and look at their mouth and as they're kissing each other.
Oh, the kiss.
So
He's
hard.
going for the kiss. Okay.
That's what got me.
Gotta get there eventually.
That made me like literally tear up the second time around. Because before I was just like too excited in the moment, like, yes, it's happening. Yes, finally we're here. So much is released in this moment.
I didn't feel overly emotional about it. I thought it was nice. I was like happy for Carol. I don't know, Rachel, how did you feel about it? Carol's your deeply connected character.
She is. She's my girl. We've been waiting for this since Carol and Antonio met. There was an instant spark, but it built up over these episodes. And I wasn't overly emotional like David was.
I wasn't until the second time.
What made me feel something was his reasoning for doing it. He's trying to get these words out and ultimately he's
falling short.
Kind of like me right now, right? Trying to find the words. But it's really about the care she's been giving Roberto. He sees her care for Roberto, which, I mean, let's be honest, Carol's track record with kids is not great, so it made me nervous.
Well, he's of a certain age, so it's like
but it seems
he's a little.
At least, like, yeah, he's older.
And now he's sending his kid off with her. Anyway, that's not really what we're talking about. But I thought it was very sweet. Ultimately, this was like his thank you for taking such good care of my kid. And also, I think you're super cute. And now I'm going to kiss you. And at first, I was like, ooh, she's not really receptive of this.
Right.
At first.
Right.
And then there was a moment.
In.
And we know Carol, right? She jumps feet first into revenge, but maybe not romance. So
yes.
I think it took her a minute to feel okay accepting this. It took her a minute to say, I do deserve this. And I'm so glad that she allowed herself to. because she does deserve it. And maybe she's thinking, I'm going to be gone in a day anyway, so what the hell? Or not. Maybe she'll still continue to try to get him to come with her.
Well, Valentina is going to want all the details.
If she won't give them, I will. I feel like, Valentina, this is exactly how it went down.
I loved how she asked, like, did you taste the local wine? And she's like,
again,
you are the worst.
You're the worst.
This is the
Dave of
so
this
adorable,
relationship,
though.
horniest show in The Walking Dead.
She's the female Dave.
I think something really interesting about Carol's relationship with all of these kids is that now she's gotten to parent kids at every stage. And this is like the stage she never could get to.
Yeah.
These like grown children. And so I don't know what'll happen. But if she can be like a mother to Roberto, it's like she's finally gotten to that point where a child has gotten to adulthood and she's been able to be there through. Because
Roberto better survive. Is all
I know.
I'll say.
I know. She can't lose another one. I can't handle it.
She really can't.
Cannot handle it. In this moment with the kiss, I'd mentioned that it's like season 1 Daryl, we got like that story. Season 1 Carol is here. At this time with the kiss, kind of this whole scene, this whole thing with Antonio. As I'm watching it, I'm just coming to the startling realization that when Antonio's like yelling at her in the apartment, he's like mad. And she doesn't even flinch. She's putting together canned goods in a box.
She says, you can come with us. And he is refusing. And she's like, he said, you don't understand. And she said, well, then help me understand. And he's getting really upset.
He's very angry in that moment, like very defensive. All I could think was like, oh man. One, her response, how appropriate for a trauma produced woman, truly. To in that moment when a man is screaming, she's not even like flinching or anything. She just stands there and she goes, then help me understand. Because that would be your response, would be like, well, I'm going to take it off of me and put it back on you so that you're not like getting progressively more angry at me.
Well, and also because he's a good man. I'm going to try giving him the benefit of the doubt.
She doesn't have to worry about it with him, but it doesn't just go away. And especially for people who have not received any therapy at all during any of this time, which she has not. So that trauma is still in there. I'm just constantly in awe of how much he's grown. And this whole situation with Antonio is like such a huge reminder of how different she used to be. Just how meek and mild, and how now she's breaking in. By the way, Carol, just blow out the lantern, man. Just like go blow out that lantern as you're breaking into a window so that you're not in candlelight.
You just went from here to there, fast traveling.
You don't have to be in candlelight.
Okay, gotcha.
You don't have to be in candlelight the whole time. You could just blow that light out. But
such a weirdo.
Just to see.
Also, I want to get this out of the way.
Just to see, well, that part really bothered me. I was like, what the hell? She's like a revelation of a person.
Finding
it's
a middle
incredible to me.
After all of this, too.
Well, yeah,
rather
exactly.
than swinging the other way and killing people.
We've swung way too far.
I could be like Shane.
You're a murderer and you have a list of people that you've killed, but you're crying over it at night because you're really not okay with it.
Oh, yeah.
Or, you won't stop following this person, even though it's going to be your death if you don't stop. And someone luckily is there to literally stop you from walking off of a cliff. It's interesting to see her now kind of come back to the Carol she pretended to be in Alexandria. Is almost who this is.
Well, even that was kind of a
that was like an over the top thing. It's more that middle ground of, yes, she was a homemaker and a mother and she was good at that job and she was a sweet, kind person who fell into a bad situation, but she is super strong, stronger than arguably most of the characters on The Walking Dead. And yet here she is somewhere in the middle, finally, after so many years of watching her character development. She's finally at a point where she is who she was really meant to be. It took this long for her to become that person.
13 years.
I know.
Isn't it kind of like Merle too? Like we were talking about Merle, how he would take the beatings basically. And he says it in the flashback and we know it offhand, but they're similar in that respect, Merle and Carol. And maybe that's why Daryl has such an affinity for Carol too. It's like another layer to the affinity.
I think it was part of the reason that Daryl and Carol connected is because they both knew what it was like to live with abuse. He tried to play it off as like, you're stupid because like you could have just left, but he knew what it was like to not be able to leave.
Yeah.
Truly. That was just his defense mechanism to push people away. That's really probably why.
You don't want any of this smoke. Basically.
I want to know what Rob thinks about the kiss.
Not
What were
interested.
you feeling?
Oh, I was thinking finally. Well, you guys like
Wrap it up already.
That tension has been there for the last couple episodes, and to finally have it happen was very much a relief for Carol and Antonio.
Rob's been writing Mrs. Antonio in notebooks. Hearts around
This is
his
Antonio,
lady.
whatever his last name is. Stars and hearts. But like that 5-pointed star that you make with one unicursal line, because you don't know how to make the irregular stars don't look right. You know, when you try to make one that's just an outline of a star.
They really don't. Shut up, Dave.
Thank
Don't
you.
talk about it.
I'm just
bad
calling
at
us
it.
all out, aren't I? Aren't I though? I'm perfect though, David.
It's all about angles.
Yeah,
Gotta know your
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, see, Rob can do it. Rob's like fully capable of doing
I was
it.
going to say,
Only with a
speak for
ruler.
yourself.
What are you
Kind of
doing?
project.
Oh, wow.
Mentally
Oh,
challenged.
wow.
Definitely do
Use a
it.
ruler, idiot.
Dave, it's just you and me who can't do it, apparently. Okay.
How can you tie Antonio to Carol a little bit more? I was poring over some like data on the way Carol's evolved and the ways in which she's spoken about Sophia over time. And one of the things she had said, and this is around the time where we were talking about Alpha and Lydia, she had said something obviously really stupid, something she couldn't have expected. And it's something that we actually talk about when it comes to inadvertently about Judith and, well, more Gracie than it is Judith, how she said, I wished I toughened up Sophia. And Alpha said similar things both on the show and in Tales of the Walking Dead, how she kept her from having to toughen up and all that stuff. And it's a really callous thing to say about, first of all, yourself, like putting the blame on yourself for something that you inarguably could not have prevented Sophia turning. And it's the same as Antonio, isn't it? You put it on yourself that you were in the wrong place in the wrong time, trying to do something right when something horrible happened that was completely out of your control, something you didn't see coming. You couldn't see Sophia getting mixed up and running away. And Carol wasn't even there. It was, if you want to blame anybody, blame Rick for Sophia getting lost and then eventually getting bit. It's the idea of the world or the situation being so horrible that you have nobody to blame but yourself. And Antonio and she do the same thing. She finds a reason to blame herself for Sophia getting bit over. And this is over a long period of time. She's had time to think about this for a long time. And she ultimately blames herself. And so when I saw them kiss, it goes back to what they were saying before about the aphorism, one poison cures another. And I looked into it. It's not just an aphorism in Spanish. It's how modern medicine works too. Using one toxin to counteract another. There are many reasons why one toxin will make it so that a disease or another toxin will not be able to take effect for various metabolic reasons, or the toxin attacks the thing that the other thing is trying to attack first, so it doesn't work.
Like chemotherapy.
Exactly that, right. So when I saw them kiss, it's like no risk, no reward thing. If you don't take the risk, the long-standing poison of her holding on to this thing, to not thinking she can live, and something, I can't wait to talk about that part. And then moving into a stage where, again, slaying the dragon, and out of the dragon's blood, a rose bush emerges. You slay that dragon and you get to move on. And the gift for moving on is you get to live. Do you remember what they said earlier? He'll talk to you eventually. She says this to Antonio about Roberto. The thing telling a lie is when you get to start telling the truth. It really does kind of set you free. And she's speaking to herself here. First, you survive what happened to you. Then you survive your survival. And after time, you get to start living again.
Part of that reference is to Ash, too. Her lie. So it's a tie-in to last season, which is nice because it's like Ash is gone. And so it's just like, oh, bye. We forgot about you. I guess we're not talking about you anymore.
Don't have to
Thanks
pay
for
you.
the plane.
I really do hope they open the next season with where they're at, and then that ties into how the season ends or something like that. So I really want to know where Laurent and Ash are.
Oh, I would have loved if they had alternated episodes, but that's just me personally.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Like keeping that thread open. I see what you're saying. There's more to this quote, though. It's actually attributed to something very specific, because I was like, that is from something. It's a quote that's often recited. So I kind of went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but landed on just this part. This quote is often attributed to the work of Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl. And in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, which is basically about meaning in suffering and the cornerstone of logotherapy, which is meaning-centered psychotherapy that involves Socratic dialogue to help clients discover their values, paradoxical intention to confront their fears, and de-reflection to shift the focus away from self-absorption. It's basically a handbook on how to move on from trauma. And I love that she says this. You survived the thing that happened. You survived surviving. And then if you're ready and when you're ready, you can take the poison that is actually the cure to move on to actually living a life, to kickstart your life again. That kiss for them was her way of doing that. Okay, now you've gotten this far. You need a little kick in the tuchus to live life again. Which is why, like, when you go back to the episode or Insider, Bridget TM, when Norman says she could stay here, find out how far this can go. There's no reason for you to leave, except for we said this in other episodes, I just want to go home factor. Well, why? What's waiting for you there? I thought about this. What is waiting for you at home, Carol? Daryl, of course, I get that. The only person that you'd be going home for is Daryl. I can't see a reason for her to have to go home. Can you guys? A tangible reason for Carol, except for not for us.
But I want it.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just not that there's no one she doesn't love over there. She's still got pretty much everyone from Alexandria, Judith, all of them. That's still her family.
Is it enough for her to give up on an opportunity to find happiness with someone else?
No.
Right? That's really the question. It's like the 1-2 punch here. I'm not trying to push you guys.
I think the bigger question is, would she be safe if she stayed there with Antonio? I feel like trying to talk him into going back to Alexandria would be the safer choice.
Sure. And then she gets to have her cake and eat it too. Or we do, I guess.
Yeah, we do.
I mean,
We definitely do.
And at this point, even if Roberto forgives his father, he still wants to leave. He wants a chance at a different life. And you know how it is with young people. Like, he's going to be like, no, this is what I want to do. I want to strike out on my own. And so
like
I
in
think
Barcelona, leaving Celeste Del Mar.
I hope they all go, but like maybe it ends up being like Valentina's like, oh, well, I'll take them. And now there's not enough room for you, Daryl and Carol. You have to figure out another way to get home.
They're just sending people
That's like
to the
next
US
season.
without leaving themselves.
I think the implication by Carol saying you all can come
Sending
with,
everybody.
that there's more than 4 seats on the boat. So
Everyone at Alexandria's like, people keep showing up to the door saying Daryl and Carol sent them, but we haven't seen them in years.
where did they end up? Well, they're in Valentina's love nest, actually. Just so you know. They're not all my husbands. Shut up, Dave. Okay. Fine. Sometimes they're my wives. I'm looking for a screwdriver. So many tools. There's the joke. At Valentina's. Anywho. Let's take a moment to talk about some of the cool things we saw in this episode that are of note, geography-wise.
Okay.
They did talk a little tiny bit about it in the episode or Insider, but not to Bridget TM, but nothing of worth. The scene where Paz, or Path, whatever you want to say, and Daryl arriving to that cathedral area with the amusement park underneath.
I really liked the walkers on the Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
I thought that was fun.
How'd they not fall out after 13 years, though?
I was like, well, at first I was like, how did they turn there? They both got bit and decided to go on the Ferris wheel. And I was like, oh man, they died on it?
They couldn't get down.
That's horrible. What a horrible
They
way
starved to
die.
death. Yeah.
What a way to go. Oh no. They mentioned in the episode or Insider, but it's Tibidabo.
It's beautiful.
It is religious in origin. It was a place of worship, rituals, and even sacrifices dating back to Roman times. It's named after the monastery, and it comes from the Latin Tibidabo, the 2 words, and it means I will give you. And it is a passage from Luke 4:6, where Satan tempts Jesus with, quote unquote, the glory of the world from a high mountain. And the quote is, all this power I will give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and to whomever I will give it. I thought you'd appreciate that.
Which is so stupid. You know this thing your dad made? I'll give it to you if you just come over to my side and play for evil. And he's like, no, I'm good, dude. I don't need that. I kind of like own the whole thing. Like,
I already own it. And others have to find salvation in me. Gosh.
It's so dumb, Dave. It's like the dumbest thing. The devil's an idiot.
He's like, what a bargain. And
He's such
Jesus
an
like,
idiot.
I already own it. Why are you selling me on
You're
something
giving
I
me my
already own?
own thing. So stupid.
You're so stupid, Dad.
Like, he's
Do my
so
own
dumb.
thing.
The devil's an idiot.
In 1899, Salvador Andreu founded Sociedad Anónima del Tibidabo to develop the area as a major leisure destination, beginning with a residential area for wealthy families. In 1901, they founded the amusement park with the first attractions opening in 1905. It's one of the oldest amusement parks in the world.
Wow.
In the mid-1900s, the park expanded with new rides, mascots, and indoor attractions. And this was right around the time, again, I said there's Basque influence everywhere. In the mid-1900s is around the time the Basque separatists came about, the ETA group. The church itself that's on the hill, the Temple of the Sacred Heart, began construction in 1902 and completed in 1961. Let me just go quickly to the Basque stuff, and then we can go wherever at that point. The first thing you see during the moment where you see Maria and the whole explosion thing is the Gora Eusko Guduriak, which is Catalan, not Spanish. Long live the Basque soldiers warriors. They're protesting basically for Catalan independence. They've been doing it since the Spanish Civil War. Okay, we talked about that a lot in the last episode or two. They've been doing it since then until 2018. Had the apocalypse not happened, they would have eventually stopped, basically. It's interesting, but the apocalypse did happen and we all forgot all about it. It's fine. It's no problem.
Bigger problems.
Eusko Guduriak is also the title of the Basque patriotic song with the same name, particularly those who fought for the Basque Republic during the Spanish Civil War. I think promises were made about a country for the Basque people, which would have been called, Antonio says this in the episode, Euskal Herria. That's what the Basque country would have been called, Euskal Herria. That would have been straddling the border between Spain and France, where they meet. And he mentions also, Generalissimo Francisco Franco, the Spanish Civil War. But a little bit about the separatist group that blew up the car, basically, or somebody blew up. I forget if it was the guy that they were interviewing was from ETA or the ETA people blew up.
I assumed the ETA people blew up the car.
Yeah, because they are the terrorists. Okay, cool. ETA is short for Euskadi Ta Askatasuna. So it's good that they call it ETA because it's a mouthful in the original Catalan. For
Don't
American
try
audience.
again, Dave. Don't try again.
It's hard enough saying Spanish words correctly. It's a radical Basque separatist group. Their name means Basque homeland and liberty or Basque country and freedom. It's a translation thing. They existed from 1959, around the time the cathedral was finished being built, till 2018. And since the Spanish Civil War was over, basically. I just thought that was really interesting. There's a lot of Catalan influence. The story between the dragon and the princess and St. George, that's also Catalan.
Okay, you did a lot of research. Riddle me this, Dave.
Sure.
Did you look into
The old city?
why Fede called his mother La Celestina?
I did. Did you?
Okay, I did.
I'm hands off.
Okay.
Go for it.
This is based on something called the Tragicomedy of Callisto and
What year?
Melibea, also known in Spanish as La Celestina, or in English, the Spanish Bawd. It was written by Fernando de Rojas a long time ago. long time ago.
1499, yeah.
While chasing his falcon through the fields, a rich young bachelor named Callisto enters a garden where he meets Melibea, the daughter of the house, and is immediately taken with her. This is a very Romeo and
Sounds like
Juliet.
Romeo and
He's a
Juliet.
story.
Yes.
Yes.
He's a noble, she's a noblesse. I don't know.
Unable to see her privately, he broods until his servant, Sempronio, suggests using the old procuress Celestina. She is the owner of a brothel and in charge of her two young employees, Alicia and Erusia. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing. When Callisto agrees, Sempronio plots with Celestina to make as much money out of his master as they can. And another servant of Callisto's, Parmeno, mistrusts Celestina because he used to work for her when he was a child. So something happened there. Parmeno warns his master not to use her. However, Celestina convinces Parmeno to join her and Sempronio in taking advantage of Callisto, and his reward will be Erusia, one of the girls from the brothel. As a seller of feminine knickknacks.
What does that mean?
This plot synopsis is
So
hilarious.
somebody else was looking for a screwdriver?
As a seller of feminine knickknacks and quack medicines, Celestina is permitted entrance into the home of Elisa and Melibea by pretending to sell thread. Weird choice, but okay. Upon being left alone with Melibea, Celestina tells her of a man in pain, but he could be cured by the touch of your girdle. What?
I completely agree.
What a scam. It's so ridiculous. I love it. It's so ridiculous.
All my pains will be cured by your girdle.
When she mentions Callisto's name, Melibea becomes angry and tells her to leave. But the crafty Celestina persuades her that Callisto has a horrible toothache that requires her aid and manages to get the girdle off of her to fix another meeting. So on her second visit, Celestina persuades the now willing, all of the sudden, Melibea to rendezvous with Callisto. And upon hearing of the meeting set by Celestina, Callisto rewards the procuress with a valuable gold chain. The lovers arrange to meet in Melibea's garden the following night, while Sempronio and Parmeno keep watch. And when the weary Callisto returns home, because, bow chicka bow wow, at dawn to sleep, because he's been up all night, in more ways than one, his two servants go around in Celestina's house to get their share of their gold. But she tries to cheat them, and in a rage, they kill her in front of Alicia. After jumping out of the window in an attempt to escape the night guard, Sempronio and Parmeno are caught and are beheaded later that day in the town square.
Oh.
And Alicia, who knows what happened to Celestino, Sempronio, and Parmeno, tells Rusia of the deaths, and Rusia and Alicia come up with a plan to punish Callisto and Melibea, even though she's like hardly involved, for being the cause of
all this
their
happening.
Deaths.
Mostly Callisto, by the way.
Yes. After a month of Callisto sneaking around and seeing Melibea at night in the garden, Erusa and Alicia enact their plan of revenge, and Callisto returns to the garden for another night with his woman. While hastily leaving because of a ruckus he heard in the street, he falls from a ladder that he used to scale the high garden wall, and he dies. And after confessing to her father the recent events of her love affair and Callisto's death, Melibea then jumps from the tower of the house and dies too.
You just had to say
funny,
Romeo and
but
Juliet.
funny. So it's written to be a tragic comedy because everything is so over the top. The
Right.
girdle being
Right.
like what's gonna cure his
Cure me, oh
pain.
my.
Like this, like the whole thing is like super over the top. But anyway, it's a really interesting story, but it's obviously well known enough in Spain to call someone a Celestina and to know that that means that essentially they're like a matchmaker.
Yeah, this book was so influential. This story was so influential. It became part of culture. So anybody that is called a matchmaker or is playing matchmaker or a go-between is called a Celestina, but also not limited to anybody who is a liaison between two parties as well. So let's say merchants to other merchants or a corporation to a small business. You're like a Celestina. You're basically trying to get two entities or two groups to come together. You're called a Celestina.
In terms of history, this was also written during the reign of Ferdinand and Isabella, which is also like a very well written about tale.
Well, the author himself, Fernando de Rojas, is a descendant of Jews who converted to Catholicism in the wake of the Spanish Inquisition. There's 3 Jews in the Inquisition. Those who died very painfully, those who were forced into hiding called Moranos. They hid their Judaism. Catholic in the streets, Jewish in the sheets. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, sure.
And then there were those who actually, and then there were those actually converted, and he is one of them. I guess maybe I'm descended of one or the other, not the dead ones.
I'm sorry, because when he said that, all I could picture is like just a New York Jew saving their accent for when they're like under a sheet.
Oh, what a relief. I'm the only one who
stupid.
could do it, basically.
I can't do it. I can't do it. It would be insulting.
These were the Sephardic Jews. Sefarad meaning from Spain, Sepharad. Most people who don't know this, Eastern European Jews have Yiddish. It's spoken mostly German and Hungarian. Yeah. Yiddish was like a derivation of German / Polish / Hebrew. There is a version of this for Sephardic Jews, Spanish Jews, called Ladino. It's a mixture of Portuguese, Spanish, and Hebrew, and I think a couple of other languages too, to form this other unique, very dying language, by the way. Surprised this isn't like a college course learning Ladino. It's another mixture of a language too that is not often spoken or heard of or known even. I just thought that was interesting too, because we talked about the Inquisition, the Stirpado in the second episode, hanging the guy for taking his daughter and everything. And then that comes back, this comes back. Celestina being a reference from about that time, from a person who escaped the Inquisition by converting.
Do you think they're going to do that punishment to Antonio?
Right. We ended off the episode with the 3 guys in back of Antonio as Carol drives away. And so, what are they going to do with Antonio, right? For speaking up against Fede. And he's literally sacrificing himself for them to run away. And I love how that whole scene goes down too, because what he says, Antonio says, and my boy just told me he's up there right now, having just told me that you conspired with it. You can go now, Carol. We don't need Roberto is upstairs. You know, he's fine. He's He's doing
He's
his
awake
thing.
now. And he's ready to talk.
Running around. He's doing sprints, you know?
Yeah.
With Doña Marga. He's like on a treadmill right now, taking his physical. It's perfect. Hoping that he takes the bluff is basically what it is. And long enough for her to get away.
Does.
Which, by the way, if you saw the map that I posted, obviously I didn't include it in the episode. I put up a video of where everything is in Spain. Belchite, where Valentina's lighthouse is, where Salas del Mar was filmed at the very least. It's a half a day's away travel to Valentina's lighthouse.
No, really.
Well, that makes sense why he sent Sergio away. Then Sergio's gone for a little while.
Yeah. Again, you notice that when Carol gets to Valentina, at least at one part in the episode, it's not a casual thing. When you find her playing with the sextant, it's already dark when they're talking, whereas before it was like early in the morning or something like that.
It's light out, but it's like way later in the day.
Something like that, right. But it's like an hours long trek. So obviously the locations having symmetry in the present and the past. I also like the way things transitioned. One transition in particular, though, that was very noteworthy. Fede is calling Doña Marga the Celestina. It goes from the photo of Fede stroking the picture of Maria, okay, to the flashback video of Maria, little Roberto, and Antonio and Tibidabo. And then it goes from there to Daryl and Paz at the gates of the pool where the Ofrenda refugees are staying. So there's like a little bit of like everybody's talking about Maria, basically. There's a reflection of refugee status, basically. Because Maria and Antonio left to Barcelona to escape whatever love triangle nonsense was happening in Salas with Fede, basically. And to find a new life as a matchmaker where nobody believed in him. His dad took a belt to him for believing he
as
was
a filmmaker.
Right.
You said matchmaker.
Sorry, a
As a
filmmaker, not a matchmaker. Antonio the
I was like,
matchmaker.
wait,
I can see it though.
I shouldn't catch that.
Terrible. As a filmmaker, yes. On the heels of what we were saying before about Daryl and Paz having reignited passion towards finding Justina and Elena, right? Just reinvigorated to go after them. Do you think this also has an effect on Daryl when it comes to Rick? That there'll be more reason for him to want to go home at this point, to be able to continue that search, indirectly or directly, whatever it is?
I think to some degree.
Yes, he would want to continue that, but at the same time, he's mostly got to get back for Laurent. He's got to be that parent figure to that kid for...
Oh, that's a good point too.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll do father-son things. They'll like find Rick together instead of alone.
Yeah,
in the
come
woods.
with me. We'll teach you how to survive on your own.
I think it just gives him the strength to not give up. That's what this whole season has been about, is he's lost his hope. He's lost his connection to humanity. He's like, I just want to go home. I don't want to deal with any of this anymore. I don't care. I got to stop getting sucked into everybody else's problems. I've just got to go. But that's not who Daryl is. So this is just going to reinvigorate that Daryl is, again, who he is, which is a guy who does help other people.
He's a hero through and through.
Yes.
Well, and if not that, it's doing for other people what he wished somebody would do, or maybe like Merle would do for him. There's this messed up situation that I didn't think anybody could help me at the time. But then you have all these experiences from him in The Walking Dead after the fall, where time after time he got himself involved. Maybe it didn't always work, but he was there for people, for his brother, for, I was gonna say Rachel, for Carol, and all these other people. Man, it's strong association. And then, somebody could have been there for me. And I could see somebody getting pretty resentful over that fact that, oh, wait, somebody could have stepped in. Somebody could have maybe stopped my dad from beating on me. Like, you think that's your life until that point. That's normal, living like this, running away. So when you see all these things go down, like, obviously he wants to go home, but then he realizes, I can't keep running away like my brother told me to and not looking back. That's not how they should have gone down. You know, you process it. I was too weak to reckon with this or to engage with this directly. But now I'm grown. I can do the things I couldn't do before. I could step in where somebody didn't step in for me before. We can do this. Although I do question something. Okay, the plan for, I was going to say Rachel again, the plan for Carol was to escape with Roberto.
He's confused the twos of you. The two of you from now on.
The twos of
same.
yous.
The twos of you.
I confused the twos of yous, Rachel and Carol.
I'll take it.
The plan was for Carol and Roberto to escape the town, not covertly, just like, hey, I'm done with you guys. Sayonara. And for Antonio, he says, Gustavo will help me escape. Gustavo is one of the people behind him after the sacrifice he made too. So I wonder if he will not, because, you know, we got to see his nephew die during the battle too. He was very sad about that turn and whatever. And you see when Antonio starts calling out Fede, people start standing up. What did you do to Justina? excuse
Well,
me?
and someone else in Gustavo's family is sick.
Oh, his wife. And
Because-
Sergio says, get me the
yeah.
medicine. Yeah, I've got plenty of medicine for you, not for
He says, "Don't
Roberto."
worry, just come if you need anything, just come find me." I was like, "Who are you, Sergio, to be giving out this medicine?" He's like skimming off the top too.
That's what I wrote in my notes. I'm like, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
I think I wrote it literally. Excuse me, sir. Who are you to give out medicines that, after Fede's
Fede's
speech?
an idiot and stores the keys in a box that everyone knows where the box is. The
Apparently.
keys in
It's
there.
on the desk.
So,
Carol found it in like 2 seconds.
and there's another scene that gets me thinking more about this, and it's when Sergio calls Fede to come to the pits, or the cages where they keep the walkers to protect the mountain,
Right.
right? And he goes,
He's such a
I don't like
baby.
being here. And he holds his
He's
nose.
such a baby. Oh, the smell. Oh,
Ugh,
I was
It's the
like,
only time
grow
everyone's ever
up, dude.
complained about the smell.
How long have you lived in
This
this world?
entire
And you're
show.
like, oh, the smell is horrible.
Ugh,
Yeah,
ugh,
duh.
Stinky.
You all stink. Everyone stinks in the apocalypse.
But some stinks hurt more, Bridget.
I will tell
Smell
you,
more.
the smell of death makes me gag instantly over anything else.
Yeah. Future
Well, I
saying
know it's a horrible smell. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
everything smells bad in this
Yeah.
world.
it's relative. Bridget, you're not smelling death
Well-
all the time.
Okay, but let's look back at the plague,
If you have
my
a pit of-
friend. You think people were like incapable of walking around because they were like, oh, it smells so bad? No, eventually you just went nose blind to it and you
Yeah.
walked around the dead
Sure.
bodies anyway.
Oh, and nobody washed their
I would
hands.
say
We
if
talked
you have
about
a
that
pit
last
of
episode.
dead bodies at the base of your mountain, it's going to stink far beyond where they're standing, and you're going to smell that all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's an
Yeah.
elevation of stink that is not.
And then they're always moving around, stirring it up, you know?
Mhm.
We talked about that a long time ago. Do not want to talk about it again. But there's a deeper insight here, and is it possible that Fed is not really in charge?
Like, what do you mean?
For instance,
He's a
is
puppet.
Sergio part of El Alcazar? He's like a representative liaison, El Celestina, if you will, between.
Oh, I don't know if I'd go that far. I could believe that Fede is not as in charge as he thinks he is.
Right. That's
I can give you
basically
that.
what I'm saying. Because Sergio seems to have everything on lock. He's the muscle. He could even be the one technically in charge while it's kind of like the Hilltop formula. The Hilltop formula is the leader that's supposed to be in charge always kind of checks out while the second in command is really the one in
Mhm.
charge. When Tara was in charge, it was Jesus. When Maggie was in charge, it was kind of Jesus facilitating everything.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Same energy. And they're technically on the hill. So maybe there's that whole Negan savior symmetry after all between Solas and Hilltop.
Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after these messages.
We just thought we'd remind you to show this episode some love by tapping that like button if there's one to be tapped, subscribing to our podcast or channel, and if available, enabling all notifications and sharing the show or clips of it with everyone you know. And don't be afraid to reach out. Leave your questions, feedback, ideas, or even concerns in the comments section. There isn't one? Head on over to ratethispodcast.com/squawkingdead and leave your thoughts there. Rating our podcast is the best way to get our attention because it also boosts our visibility. And we'll probably address it in the next episode too. And if you think there's something to what we're doing here at Squawking Dead, tip us over on Ko-fi. As a token of our appreciation, you'll receive forever access to our Discord, along with 30 days access to our uncut episode and interview recordings, plus our pre-squawk insights. Take your support further. Join a membership tier on either ko-fi.com/squawkingdead or patreon.com/squawkingdead, and you'll unlock access to more channels on our Discord server, receive shoutouts at the end of every episode, and depending on what tier you join, the ability to join us on camera and mic to break down future episodes alongside us. Thank you for hearing us out and making it this far into the episode.
We now return you to our regularly scheduled podcast.
Just one last thing. In the episode or Insider, Bridget TM, Zabel says there's many, many different kinds of love stories happening all at once. And they're all of a different kind of variety. There's Paz's love story that's love that's lost but can be found, but you can't get to it. That tragedy.
Mm.
Daryl's tragic love story, love lost, never to return. Justina and Roberto's classic Romeo and Juliet story, or La Celestina, right? And then there's Antonio and Carol finding love after tragedy, never thinking you can have love again, but here we are. And then there's Fede. I'm adding to this. There's Fede,
Unrequited.
unrequited love. Who knew that we were in a Spanish soap opera, ladies and
A
gentlemen?
telenovela.
Yeah, exactly. Who invented that?
Walking Dead was always a soap opera with zombies anyway.
It's true.
It's a different
So-
kind, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's not dolphin smooth, but there was a hot shower that Carol didn't take.
The spaghetti western like influence of this like continued into this with the shootout at the
Oh, yeah.
gate.
That was a extremely strong lock, as Rachel said earlier, is super rusted, but 2 bullets from a shotgun couldn't even take it off.
No. To be fair, every other lock is butter in this show. So.
Well, that's what I was going to say. And also, shotguns don't have that much of an effect on.
At close range, they did.
Pellets.
Right. There's most
at
of them.
Close
Depends on
range,
the
it should have done
shot,
something, but.
But even then, like, I'd be scared of hitting.
It only made the rust more powerful, apparently.
It galvanized the lock. The more he hit it, the stronger it was. Although, to be fair, most locks, that's what would have happened. Why isn't doing the thing from the movies working? Why isn't it? Finally.
I know.
But to be serious for one moment, it did kind of break my heart seeing Daryl hold on to Justina's hand.
Oh,
it was like,
me too.
Did you not feel that this was like Isabel maybe all over again, but Isabel essentially?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like making up for something that was lost.
Yeah.
It was filmic too, from all these different angles as they're driving away.
Yeah. I mean, the shots in this entire show have been gorgeous. Yeah. There were some really beautiful scenes there alone.
Paz just getting out of the car, the angle from her boot level, then seeing her walk towards Daryl.
Oh, which reminds me, the spaghetti western thing, the talk around the campfire with the knife sharpening. And there are so many scenes that I'm like, that's a western scene. That's a western
There's
scene.
That Ace salsa commercial.
New York City.
Now I'm going to include that.
Thought about that.
So, and then we'll get copyright stricken. The first time I said
that was during our Dead City coverage, Dave.
Oh, yeah, but not limited to. It's not the first time we've done it. It was before my time, Dave. Well, why didn't you watch all the episodes before then?
Because life didn't truly start until I came.
Life truly is cruel. Life is cruel that way. In any case, thanks everybody for watching this episode along with us. I'm happy that you made it here to the end. Although one thing did occur to me. No, that's it. No more things. I've been your host, David Cameo, and I was joined by
Cosmo Mom 09.
Bridget. You can find me at ko-fi.com/punkybrewster. It's PUNKYBRUISETER.
And I've been Rob. You can find me over at Rob Stuff and Things on TikTok and YouTube.
Damn right. And we'll be here next week for the season 3 finale of The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. I wish I could say I can't wait for it to be over, but I don't. I am enjoying being here. I don't want to see what comes next. You know that feeling where like, well, what if they do go home? Then this won't happen. Well, if they stay, what will happen after that? I just kind of just want to live in this moment right now. Like Rachel, we hate endings, and I don't want to see this one. But hey, they're going to drag us kicking and screaming to the next episode anyway. So that's our life, people. We don't get to sit here in blissful ignorance, not watching the last episode. We do it for you. It's such a pain. What a hardship.
There's only 7, not 8.
7, not 8.
Yeah, 7.
Last year was 6, I think.
I know. I thought it was going to be 8 for some reason. I don't know why.
Because they upped Dead City to 8.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, that's where that came from then.
Yeah. It's like maybe every new season they get another episode tagged onto the end. Maybe not. All right. We'll see.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Take care, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Hey, somebody has to pee again. We're just going to kill somebody.
Yeah, maybe. She's got to go take care of things.
And so do we, starting with thanking you for making it to the end of this episode, talking about The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon's penultimate episode of season 3 titled Contrabando. And as always, thanks so much to our supporters who receive shoutouts at the end of every episode, skipping the Survivor Series since we don't have any, and moving on to our Whispers members, starting with at Rob's Stuff and Thangs on TikTok. That's Robstuff_N as in Nancy _Thangs, THANGS. And of course, at Kim.Rowley, the #1 on Facebook. You're probably seeing the Walker's Tier members scrolling on the screen right now if you're watching on YouTube and Spotify video. I'd like to remind you again to check out, before it's too late, our Walking Dead Daryl Dixon designs. Even if you're not going to buy any of them, it's worth a look to give us feedback, if anything at all. We could always use a little outside input, because sometimes I think I'm onto something and you tell me I'm really not, and that is super helpful despite the hurt feelings. In any case, can't wait to see the next episode and getting ready to cut this thing up into clips and send it out to you, little bite-sized nuggets on social media, which you should be following. You can get to all of that at squawkingdead.com and more. Take care, everybody, and just remember that we are Squawking Dead.